Sometimes life doesn't speak in celebrations or clear announcements. It speaks in pauses, in quiet discomfort, in moments where things stop making sense. And if you are in one of those moments right now, this is not life punishing you. This is life rearranging you. When things start slipping out of your hands without a clear reason, when plans fall apart even though you did everything right, when people change, leave, or grow distant without proper closure, it often feels personal, like you failed or missed something important. But very often it's not about failure at all. It's about readiness. Life has a way of creating space before it brings something new. And space rarely feels peaceful at first. It feels empty, confusing, and unsettling because the human mind is wired to cling to what is familiar, even when that familiar thing is limiting growth. Loss is one of the first signs people resist, because loss hurts. Whether it's the loss of a relationship, a job, a sense of identity, or even an old version of yourself. But loss does something powerful beneath the surface. It forces you to confront who you are without the things you depended on. And that confrontation, as uncomfortable as it is where strength quietly forms. Confusion is another sign people misunderstand, because we're taught that clarity means progress and uncertainty means failure. But confusion often appears when old answers no longer work and new understanding hasn't fully formed yet. It's the space between what you were and what you're becoming, and that space feels unstable because it's honest. Loneliness is perhaps the most misunderstood phase of all, not the kind where you simply want company, but the deeper kind where you feel unseen even around others, where conversations feel shallow and you start pulling inward, questioning your place in the world. And while loneliness can feel like abandonment, it often shows up when your inner life is growing faster than your external environment can keep up with. Delays are another quiet signal, especially when you've put in effort, stayed patient, and still nothing seems to move forward, and this can be incredibly frustrating. But delays are often life's way of protecting you from stepping into something before you're emotionally equipped to handle it. Because timing isn't just about opportunity, it's about capacity. Inner discomfort is something many people try to escape, but discomfort is not always a warning sign. Sometimes it's an invitation, an internal signal that you've outgrown certain habits, relationships, or expectations, and your mind and body are asking for alignment rather than comfort. Good phases rarely begin with fireworks. They usually begin after exhaustion, after surrender, after you stop forcing things to work the way they used to. Because growth doesn't arrive when you're gripping tightly, it arrives when you've softened enough to receive something different. Life removes things before it gives better alignment, not to test your faith, but to correct direction, because holding on to what no longer fits prevents you from recognizing what truly does. And this process feels unfair only because we don't see the full picture while we're inside it. Emotional growth often happens quietly, without applause, without validation, in late-night reflections, in moments of choosing restraint instead of reaction, in learning to sit with your feelings instead of running from them. And these moments don't feel heroic, but they are deeply transformative. Patience is not passive waiting, it's active trust paired with self-work. It's learning to take responsibility for your inner world even when the outer world feels unpredictable. And patience reshapes how you respond to life, rather than how fast life responds to you. Self-realization doesn't arrive as a sudden awakening. It arrives as a slow peeling away of illusions, of roles you played to be accepted, of expectations you carried that were never truly yours. And this shedding can feel like loss, but it's actually refinement. If you're in a phase where nothing feels settled, where you're questioning your direction, your relationships, or even yourself, it doesn't mean you're falling behind. It often means you're being repositioned, and repositioning is uncomfortable because it asks you to let go before you fully understand what's next. Life rarely prepares you with explanations. It prepares you with experiences, and those experiences are shaping your resilience, your awareness, your boundaries, and your depth, even if right now it feels like everything is being stripped away. And the truth is, something better doesn't always mean something bigger or louder. Sometimes better simply means more aligned, more peaceful, more honest, and more sustainable for who you are becoming. So if life feels heavy right now, if things are unclear, if you feel a quiet ache instead of excitement, don't rush to label it as a bad phase. It may be a meaningful one, asking you to slow down, listen inward, and trust that clarity often comes after acceptance, not resistance. This is not the end of your story. It's a turning point that doesn't announce itself loudly, but gently through subtle shifts. And if you stay present, patient, and honest with yourself, you'll realize that this phase wasn't meant to break you. It was meant to prepare you, calmly, quietly, and purposefully, for what fits you better next.